वंशी विभूषितकरा नवनीरदाभा पीतांबरा धरुणबिम्बफलादरोष्ठात् पूर्णेन्दुसुन्दरमुखा अरविन्दनेत्रात् कृष्णात् परं किमपि तत्त्वमहं न जाने। अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। Jai Shri Krishna, Jai Gurudev to all divine souls participating in satsang today. In chapter 4, Bhagavan talked about his manifestation and he's talked about for the purpose. Now we are going to chapter 5. Chapter 5 is a karma sannyasa yoga, renunciation of action. As I mentioned last week, there are 3 satak. This is the chapter in the first satak. We are talking about karma. But the last chapter of first satak is chapter 6. Chapter 6 is Dhyana Yoga. Dhyana Yoga. And chapter 2nd, 3rd and 4th, Karma, Karma, Karma. So chapter 5 forms the bridge between 2nd, 3rd and 4th on one side and 6 on the other side. What do we mean by this bridge? What is understood when we talk of bridge? What do we understand by that? You see what is happening? We went through chapter 2, Sankhya Yoga. We went through chapter 3, the Karma Yoga. We went through chapter 4, Jnana Karma Sannyasa Yoga. These are the hardcore content of this is Karma Yoga. It is about Karma Yoga is concentrated in these 3 chapters. Now, the Karma Yoga is required for Chitta Mala, or the impurity of mind, to be transformed and removed, Chitta Suddhi. So there is a need for Chitta Suddhi, and that is done for following the principles of Karma Yoga. But then you want to go beyond that Chitta Mala, and what Chitta Vikshepa when it comes, when there is scattered mind is not able to concentrate, because you need concentration for meditation. If you if you have a mind which is chanchal, which is not concentrating, not able to focus, not able to concentrate, you will not be able to meditate. See, that is given in chapter 6. Chapter 6 is yoga of self-discipline, Atma Sanyama Yoga, also called yoga of meditation or Dhyana Yoga. So what is happening? After removing the Chitta Mala, you want your Chitta Vikshepa to be also under control, so that you're able to have Dhyana or Atma Sanjam. That's why chapter 5 is called a stepping stone or ladder or bridge between the Karma Yoga below and Dhyana Yoga above. So this chapter 5 has its own importance. We cannot see, Maharaj used to say, चौथी क्लास में पढ़ते हो और पीएचडी करना चाहते हो. नहीं हो सकता है. कितना बढ़िया समझाते थे. कि इसको कहीं जोशी जी के यहाँ न कहीं किसी लेडी भक्त ने प्रश्न कर दिया, मुझे ये बताइए महाराज जी कह नीचे का जो असल पहले इस लेयर को पहले पार करेगी तब न ऊपर जाएगी, लेकिन पूछती है ब्रह्म क्या है, ब्रह्म को समझाने, ब्रह्म क्या है तो ठीक है, पूछिए सवाल तो जवाब देंगे, लेकिन उसके पहले ब्रह्म समझ में आएगा क्या, और समझ में आने से क्या होगा, थ्योरी अलग बात है। When you think for a moment, even to think of Brahma for a moment, I tell you, you need to really concentrate and concentrate and concentrate. There can have some glimpse of it. But of course, knowledge is important. Unless you have knowledge, you will not be able to perform, or you will not follow that path. In order to follow the path, we have to have knowledge. That's why it is important to realize the principles of karma before, realize what are the problems and how to solve them, get into the stage when you are able to remove your impurities of mind, and then go to chapter 5. And that's what Bhagavan is trying to do. He's introducing, see how scientifically each chapter has been arranged so that you go one step, then another step, and then another step, and then you evolve, and ultimately moksha, sannyasa, yoga, that is chapter 18, you get liberated when you are in chapter 18. Now, when we talk of how we have gone through chapter 2, chapter 3, and realized, I have gone through this verse last week, we all know very well this verse, that it is question of following these four solid principles, the pillars of karma yoga. You have right to perform action, karmanyevadhikaraste. You never have the right of its fruit, mahafalesu kadachana. You do not initiate action without having eye on the fruit of the action. So let not be the fruit of action be your object, and also do not get involved in inaction, akarma. So you have to move away from akarma and perform right action. That is what Karma Yoga talks about. In the meantime, in chapter 3 and 2 also, Bhagavan brings out so many problems. He brings out what are the things which you can encounter on the way to attaining this knowledge of getting rid of your chitta mala. And that are the sangha, kama, krodha, they all will come on. And he also gives us the solution to the problem, how to deal with all these impurities in the mind, how to get rid of them, so extensively mentioned in chapter 2 and in chapter 3 and chapter 4. So from chapter 2 and 2, what we learn, what is right action, number 1, and conscious resistance to all evils. So you resist, you consciously resist, do not allow you to come in. You resist incoming of the evil, and if it comes, remove it. So there, Bhagavan has given us all the clues how to not allow the evils to attack you. He has also given us clue how to, if you got it, how to remove it. And we have gone through all these in chapter 3. In chapter 4, again, Bhagavan talks about, okay, a few words about this progress. You see, he talks about first inner akarma, that means in action, and he tells no, go into activity, karma nevadhikaraste. Then he talks about yagyartha karma. In chapter 3, verse 9, he talks of yagyartha karma. So you see what progression here? The progression is from tamasic state to rajasic state to sattvic state. So that will bring chitta suddhi of chittamal. So if you are able to remove your tamasic content, you have gone on to rajasic and start practicing yagyartha karma, then you will be able to attain chitta suddhi. Now, in chapter 4, we have gone into कर्मण्ये कर्म यह पश्येत अकर्मणि च कर्म यह स बुद्धिमान मनुष्येषु स युक्तः कर्म कृत. Now this has been extensively discussed. I have taken at least 7-8 sessions to deal with this, and they are all put in the videos which was delivered on January 7, 13 and 20th of this year. If one wants to go through those talks, they are all in the moments of miracle. I don't know whether everybody knows about this or not, but it is for your information that if you go on YouTube and put in there moments of miracle, you will immediately find the slide, the video there, and you can go through. All the videos, most of them have been uploaded. There are few of them are still missing, and that is going to be done by Swami Geeta Kiranji very soon. So you can go through that and learn and again revive yourself into what we meant by karma in akarma and akarma is unkarma. Then we learned about those 12 kinds of yajna. Those 12 kinds of yajna are the things to be followed by each and every one of us. Even if you practice 1 or 2 yajna, then you can go across. That is very, very important. So we have, in chapter 4, we got the philosophy of renunciation. We knew the knowledge about it was initiated. And in chapter 5, what we are going to go through is the practice of renunciation of action, karma sannyasa yoga. We went through jnana karma sannyasa, that is the knowledge. Tad vidhi pranipatena pariprasnena sevaya, that knowledge you get by going to the feet of Guru. You learn that knowledge, you apply that knowledge, perform those 12 yajna, and when with that, we are now ready to actually renunciate action. The practice that in chapter 5 it is given how to practice renunciation of action, and with that path to meditation will be paved. You will be able then to practice meditation, and that is what is the purpose of having this chapter 5. Now, the first verse we have gone through before. Let us go through again what it says. Sannyasam karmanam Krishna punarayogam cha samshasi yashreyayetayorekam tanme bruhi sunischitam. He says, Arjuna says, "Oh Krishna, you praised karma sannyasa karmanam, and you also commend karma yoga." So punar yogam ja sansasi means praise. You have praised karma sannyasa, you also praise sannyasa. Now please tell me decisively which is better of the two. What he says, me sreya. This is very, very important word. This is one thing which we have to cling on to. Somebody asked, suddenly if Lord Krishna appears before you, what you will ask him? What will be your question to him? To give pleasure in life, to have all kinds of this? No, you ask Shreya, Bhagavan, tell me what is Shreya for me. Do what is Shreya for me. He will decide. He knows what is Shreya for you, and then he will guide. You cannot ask, you cannot before him, and that unfortunately, most of us That we do. We go to temple, भगवान ये दे दो, ये तकलीफ हो गई, इस तकलीफ से छुटकारा हो जाए, ये बीमारी हमारी चली जाए, यही सब हम में लगे रहते हैं हम लोग. Not that this is not important. It is important. If you have suffering, of course you will ask for something. But that is a level we want to go across. Beyond that, अगर हम उससे छोटी छोटी मांगेंगे तो बड़ी चीज छूट जाएगी. तो एक बार ही बड़ी चीज मांग लो ना, सब छोटी छोटी चीजें सब उसमें अपने आप समा जाएगी. So we should ask for higher thing. Arjuna could have asked so many things, but he says no. Bhagavan, you tell me what is Shreya for me. And that Shreya he has asked in many places, and he says that, you see in chapter 2, he says, Karpanya doso pahata svabhava prikshami tvam dharma sammuda cheta yachreyasya nischitam bruhitan me shishyasteham sadima tvam prapannam. Even at that stage, when he was really, his body and mind and everything was totally shaken up, he was not able to stand up on his legs. He falls behind at the back seat. The Gandhi goes, and Bhagavan chides him. Kutastva kasamaramidam visame samupasthitam anarjustam aswargam akirte karam Arjuna klebyam masmagama partha naitatya yupapadyate chudram hridaya daurvalyam tyakto tishta param tapa. That kind of chiding Bhagavan gives. क्या हो गया तुमको अर्जुन? ये अनार्जुष्ट हो गए हो क्या? तुम्हारा क्या बुद्धि कहाँ चली गई? उस अवस्था में भी अर्जुन को ध्यान रहा, ये तो मेरा सखा है. मेरा उद्धार करेगा. अपने सारा हृदय खोल कर रख देता है. बुद्धि मेरी चली गई, मैं एकदम लाचार हूं, आप बचाओ. और कहता श्रेय, क्या श्रेय है मेरे लिए, आप बताइए. 3rd चैप्टर में भी फिर श्रेय की बात करते, व्याम श्रेय वाक्यन बुद्धि तदेकम विद्य एन श्रेयो हम आपने आप, जो मेरे लिए श्रेय है वो बताइए. In chapter 5 also, he also repeats the same thing, and he says that what is Shreya for me, what is better. Shreya is not better. Shreya meant a kalyanakari. There is no good word in English for Shreya. Like Shraddha, there is no one word for Shraddha. Shreya is also another word. Bhautik nahi, adhyatmik. It is not material. When we talk of Shreya for me, I'm not talking about give me a Mercedes car or give me a 10-story building or no. This is material. When we talk of Shreya, Kalyan, and before Bhagavan, you are not asking for any material thing from him. You are asking what is Kalyan for me. Mera udhar is another word. Mera udhar kisse hoga? How can get sublimated, you can so call it. There is a question of sublimation, not just lying there or collecting material things. No, please decisively tell me which. Now here he is talking about 2. Of the 2, that is karma sannyasa and karma yoga, which of the 2 is better for me? So see, there is a difference in understanding. His question in chapter 3 was different. His was in the sense different and may not be different. I think it is here. You see, when we talk of this question, Arjuna's question was similar but not the same in chapter 3. See, as I told you, this is a question of a thesis can be written on these questions. What is the difference between chapter 3 and chapter 5? The question raised by Arjuna in chapter 3, which we know very well, is talking about whether karma should be done or whether it should be jnana. And the question is here, they are not the same. They are different. But they are similar. I will come to that similar later on. Let me see which of the two is better. Shreya, what is talking about in one case? He's talking of renunciation of action and participation of action. This is the difference he wants in chapter 3. This is what we are talking about. Whether we should renunciate action or we should participate. Please tell me which of the two is better for me, for him, because he was told in chapter 3 that you are made up to follow the karma yoga, and it is for jnani to follow the jnana yoga. So jnana has been eliminated from his thought, that he is not fit at the moment to go through jnana yoga, follow jnana yoga, but karma yoga. But then in karma yoga, whether he should practice karma or he should renunciate karma, this is the crux of the question which Arjuna has asked in this chapter. But why this question came to him? Because most of the chapter 4, Bhagavan talks about jnana karma sannyasa, knowledge of the renunciation of action, and at the end, Bhagavan says, Chitvainam sansayam yogam atishto tishta bharata. Having talked about theory of renunciation of action, Bhagavan is telling Arjuna, oh Arjuna, now you stand up and fight. Now that made Arjuna ask this question. Please tell me which is Shreya of the two. Now, what is the similarity? The similarity is that all these questions, 3, 5, and 18, his main aim to find word from Bhagavan Sri Krishna that he should run away from the war, does not go to the war, avoid war. That is the commonality in these questions. The purpose of his asking question is still he does not want to carry out this fighting and going to the war. But what Bhagavan's reply? He will say, I will come to that next week maybe. He says, Bhagavan says in his reply that for you, the answer is Karma Yoga. Oh Arjun, the question, in 2, Bhagavan replies, Sannyasa karma yogasya nishreyasa karabhavo tayostu karma sannyasat karma yoga vishishyate. For you, karma yoga is superior to renunciation. I will take this thing next week. Thank you very much. Jai Sri Krishna.